All right, we have made it to the American League, and we're starting in the AL East with the New Orleans Voodoo. And here is a look at their pitching staff. Jose Barrios, the veteran, opening day starter for this team. Hunter Brown, 25 years of age, from the Astros. He'll be second. Cal Quantrill, third in the rotation for New Orleans. Brian Wu, fourth in the rotation. He throws some gas. And Luis Severino, the veteran, fifth in the rotation. Pretty solid. Let's take a look at the bullpen now. Reyes Moranta is listed as the long reliever for this team. Lucas Sims, pretty solid bullpen piece there. A righty for New Orleans. My favorite player in the majors, Hobie Milner, the only lefty, a part of the New Orleans bullpen. Adam Ottavino, the veteran. He's been in some high leverage spots in the past. He'll be part of this bullpen, as will be Archie Bradley, who sticks around and makes another roster. Zach Jackson going to get some late inning reps, the Oakland Athletic pitcher. I'm not sure if he's still there or not, but he was at one point. Joe Jimenez going to get some late inning work for this team as well. And then your closer in New Orleans, Liam Hendricks. Love to see it for Liam. So again, just one lefty in the entire pitching staff for New Orleans, and that is Hobie Milner. Let's take a look at the lineup now for this team. Jake McCarthy going to lead things off, the speedy outfielder against righties. Lars Nootbaar, contact outfielder, another lefty bat. Up there in the order, Royce Lewis. If he can stay healthy, he's going to be a stud at third base batting. Third, batting cleanup, the power hitting catcher, Cal Raleigh. Fernando Tatis Jr. is in New Orleans, and he's batting fifth somehow. Jorge Polanco, switch hitter. He's got some good pop. He's going to be batting sixth and playing second base for this team. Adam Frazier is going to be the listed DH against righties. He'll be batting seventh. Ryan Noda will get a spot in the lineup at first base, and he'll be batting eighth against righties. And rounding things out, there he is, Jackson Holliday, batting ninth, playing shortstop against righties. He's a part of New Orleans. The bench has Francisco Mejia at catcher, so two switch hitting catchers on the New Orleans staff. That's exciting. Jordan Westbrook follows Jackson Holliday over to New Orleans from Baltimore. And then a couple young outfielders, Kevin Alcantara and Corey Howell, make the opening day roster. So not a terrible lineup by any stretch. I don't know how good this team's going to be, to be honest with you. I don't think it's a very good team. But we'll see what happens with the Voodoo. All right, now we have Boston United Baseball Club. They are part of the American League. Let's take a look at their pitching staff, and it looks terrible based off of the overalls. Mitch Keller is the opening day starter. He had a good year last season for the Pirates, I believe he was on. He'll be the opening day starter for this team. A couple lefties in there, Braxton Garrett and Colby Allard. They'll be a part of things. Charlie Morton, the veteran. He'll be fourth in this rotation, and Johnny Cueto rounding things out in fifth. So pretty solid starting pitching rotation staff, but no studs in there really at all. Brock Stewart is listed as the long reliever for the Boston United Baseball Club. Alex Vesia is listed as the only lefty within the bullpen, unless their closer is when we get to it. Jimmy Herget, what's his nickname? The Human Glitch or something like that? Pretty cool nickname. He is pretty glitchy as well. He's a part of this bullpen. Kirby Yates and Daniel Bard, two former closers, veterans, hard-throwing righties. They are part of this bullpen. Chad Green going to get some late inning work for Boston, the former Yankee, now on the Boston United Baseball Club. Mark Leiter Jr. going to get some late inning work. And the closer for Boston, Matt Barnes. There's your pitching staff. Let's take a look at the lineup for Boston. Jazz Chisholm goes from Miami, the Marlins, to the Boston United Baseball Club, and he's leading off against righties. Ahmed Rosario, contact hitting, shortstop will bat second. And look at your 3-4 hitters, Yordan Alvarez and Bryce Harper, sharing a team, batting third and fourth. That is insane. Rest of the lineup, They're going to have to do well, though, to get on base for those two. Matt Wallner is going to bat fifth and play right field against righties. We got Mike Yastrzemski DHing, and he'll bat sixth for Boston. Jonah Heim, the catcher, will bat seventh for this team. Luis Rengifo, another switch hitter, will bat eighth and play second base. And Jason Vossler will bat ninth and play third. Junior Caminero on the bench as a infielder, middle infield option. Sam Huff is there as a backup catcher to Jonah Heim. I expect the majority of the work to go to Jonah Heim, though. We got the power hitting lefty of Rowdy Tellez. Apparently, he wants to be Adolis Garcia and wear jersey number 53 this year. And Jake Myers, the speedy, good defensive outfielder, will be on the bench. We probably expect to see him in defensively in many games for Boston. So, I mean, Jordan and Bryce, pretty scary. If Jazz Chisholm can hit, pretty scary. I worry against lefties with the amount of lefty bats, and their pitching staff looks questionable, but I don't have any doubt in my mind that this team will score some runs. They'll be solid. They'll be fun to watch. Might have some rough stretches, but they'll be a fun team. And let's just compare it right away to the next team in their division. We go from Boston to their bitter rival, New York. And let's take a look at the New York Force pitching staff. Kyle Bradish, 88 overall, going to lead things off. Justin Steele, the number 2, not even an opening day starter for New York. He's 2 in the rotation. Chris Bassett returns to New York. He's 3rd in this rotation. Steven Matz, also, hey, he's worn blue and orange in the past, right? He's 4th in this rotation. And Herman Marquez, 5th in the rotation. Pretty solid staff there. We have a lot of lefties, at least 5 lefties in the New York bullpen, starting with Anthony Mizevich, is listed as the long reliever for this team. Tyler Matzik, Steven Okert, middle relievers, as well as Lucas Luetski. Ian Giabut, I don't know. Can't pronounce anybody apparently on this team. He's the only righty middle relief pitcher on this staff. And I lied. This team has 6 lefties in the bullpen. We got Matt Moore as a late inning guy. We got Andrew Belatti as a late inning guy. And Josh Haderade, the closer for the New York Force. There are only 2 lefties in this, or 2 righties in this entire bullpen. So possible trades coming from New York as they stash a bunch of lefties from people. Let's take a look at the batting order for the New York Force. We got Stephen Kwan having a phenomenal year in Cleveland, batting leadoff for this team against righties. We have Yandy Diaz at first base, batting second, and big, thick Austin Riley in a New York uniform, batting third and playing third. Cody Bellinger, cleanup hitter, center field. He'll be batting fourth. Kerry Carpenter in right will bat fifth against righties. Ezekiel Duran, the outstanding defensive second baseman, has a sneaky good bat as well, and he'll be inserted 6th against righties. Blake Sabol will bat 7th for this team and catch against righties. Sean Bouchard is listed as the DH. He'll bat 8th. And Marco Luciano, the young infielder, will bat 9th for this team. So not only have the Mets stashed lefties in the bullpen, they've stashed catchers. You have Blake Sabol, you have Christian Bethencourt, and you have Tyler Stevenson. No idea how that's going to work out for those 3, but might be catcher by committee for this team. We got Tyler Black, the rookie infielder from the Brewers organization. He'll be sitting there on the bench against righties. And MJ Melendez, the always fun MJ Melendez, on the bench. So technically 4 catchers on the Force. This team is interesting, to say the least. I don't know if I mean that in a good way or a bad way. Really, I guess we'll find out. All right, we've made it over to Florida now in the AL East with the Jacksonville Jets. And here's their pitching staff. You have a 2-headed monster with Zach Wheeler leading things off in the rotation, and Logan Webb for the Jets. DL Hall, 3rd in this rotation. Griffin Canning, 4th in the rotation. And Hurston Waldrep, a rookie, 21 years of age, has made the opening day roster and will be a part of the starting rotation for the Jets. Drew Smiley could insert himself into the rotation at some point. He'll be the long reliever to start the season for the Jets. Nick Sandlin is there as a righty, as is Yency Almonte, the hard-throwing pitcher. A couple of young pitchers more. In addition to the starter of Hurston Waldrop, we have Jason Gill, 26 years of age, 3 pitches, no MLB experience, and Cecil Horn, 29 years of age, no MLB experience either. He makes the bullpen. We have a couple lefties, late inning work, Matt Strom and Caleb Thielbar, the veteran. And we have Evan Phillips closing things down for the Jets. So we'll see how this middle bullpen does. We'll see how deep these starters go into the games for the Jets. But a lot of young guys, a lot of rookies in this pitching staff. Let's take a look at the batting order for the Jets. And they have Jung-Hoo Lee over from Japan leading things off against righties and playing center field. We got J.P. Crawford at DH against righties. Nico Horner batting third and playing second base. And his division foe in the MLB, Willy Adames, is going to bat cleanup behind him. George Springer going to bat fifth against righties, right fielder. Ryan O'Hearn will bat sixth and play first base. Trace Thompson, left field, bat seventh. Max Stassi is going to catch against righties and bat eighth. And then you have Amundo Sosa, who's really solid against lefty bats. We'll see how he does against righty bats. He'll bat ninth. Patrick Bailey, switch hitting catcher on the bench. He'll start against lefties, I would assume. Stassi will start against righties. Tommy Pham makes it to the bench. We might see him a little bit against lefty pitching as well. Javier Baez is a backup to Willy Adames. Crazy how the turns have tabled for Javier Baez. And Stuart Fairchild, the speedy, solid defensive outfielder, a part of the bench. Not sure I love the team, to be honest with you. Jacksonville, it might be a struggle for them. Their best hitter from an overall perspective is Willy Adames. I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll see. For Jacksonville, it might be a struggle for them. They might be a part of the relegation battle if they can't get that pitching staff figured out. All right, we've made it to the final team in the, what are we on? The AL East. Kind of had a brain fart there, and it is the Montreal Mustangs. We have a team returning to Montreal. How exciting is that for them? And we got two Canada teams representing the American League and the MPBL. Ranger Suarez, the lefty, gets the opening day nod for Montreal. Bryce Miller, hard-throwing righty, a part of the rotation, as is Johan Oviedo, Mike Clevenger, and Reese Olson. They round out the starting five. Trevor Richards, the veteran, is listed as the long reliever for Montreal. Gregory Santos and Enyel de los Santos, a part of the bullpen. 3 lefties in the bullpen, including Scott Alexander, the veteran, Garrett Clevenger, the hard-throwing lefty, and Brennan Bernardino of the Red Sox. You have Scott Barlow, former closer. He'll be throwing late innings for Montreal. And then your closer is Ryan Helsley. Hells Bells, welcome to Canada. Let's take a look at the lineup for Montreal against righty bats. And, besides 3-4, it looks pretty bad. I'm going to be honest with you. Josh Rojas, contact infielder, batting leadoff for this team. Garrett Mitchell, going to be batting second and playing center field. We'll see if he can stay healthy. Might be a solid 1-2 punch to get on base for 3 and 4. And you look at 3 and 4, J-Ram, Jose Ramirez in a Mustangs uniform looks solid. And so is Adley Rutschman, the switch-hitting catcher. He'll bat cleanup against righties. Jose Abreu, back in black and white from his White Sox days. He'll be batting fifth, playing first base against righties. Brian De La Cruz will bat sixth and play left field. Colt Keith, the rookie, he'll DH and bat seventh against righties. Jake Bowers is going to play in the outfield, in right field, and he will bat eighth against righties. And Anthony Volpe, shortstop, batting ninth. You take a look at the bench, you got Trent Grisham as an outfielder sitting on the bench. You might see him a little bit against lefties with the reverse splits. Zach Veen makes a Major League Baseball opening day roster, and he will be sitting there as an outfielder on the bench. Drew Romo makes an opening day roster as well, switch hitting catcher, so he'll back up Adley Rutschman. And Emmanuel Rivera at third base will be on the bench as well.